Hi students. So with the onset of the campus placement season, today I would like to talk about one topic that you must have heard about it, you must have discussed it, but something that I would like to discuss with you in detail. And that is preferring brand over CTC. Now, you may have heard this as I said, but I would like to tell you a few points on in campus placements why you should choose brand over CTC. So I'll ask you a question. In fact, two questions that I would like to ask you. One is this your first job or your last job? So I'm sure since we are talking of campus placements, for most of you, it would be your first job. So what happens is, obviously, since it is your first job and not your last job, what matters is the fact that you would be looking at an upward growth from here. You would be looking at salary revisions. You would be looking at things like career growth and not just a job. And so basically for these things, what is important is that if you actually do it, or if you actually take up a first job with a brand, that would help you. And again, that is from where I would start my second question, which also is that if you're looking at long-term career growth, that is possible more in a brand. And what I think all of you would agree here is that if you join a bigger brand, let's say a big four or something, the career growth or the next job opportunity that you will get would be much better than in case you join a smaller company or a lesser known brand. Now, one thing I'll make clear here. When I say choosing a brand, it doesn't mean always choosing the best or the biggest company which comes to your campus. For example, if your end objective is to become an entrepreneur, maybe working with a startup or choosing a startup to work for could be a better choice or a better thing for you. So basically, choose your brand doesn't necessarily mean choose the biggest brand. And one point that I would like to highlight here is that when you lay too much focus on CTC, sometimes you miss on other important things, and which is what gives you consistency and what you are happy doing. So that is another trade-off that you shouldn't be doing. So basically for a CTC, and while a CTC is important, what is also important is that how happy you are doing what you would be doing. And of course, the fact is that the brands or so-called the bigger companies, they have defined HR policies. Things like leaves, things like stability, things like medical insurance and so on, which intangibly increase your earnings and your compensation, if not your CTC. Now, friends, one thing I would like to tell you very clearly here is, and that I'm telling you by my experience, that if you look at even if you ask your seniors or people who are working in the industry for 10, 12 years, what happens is CTC evens out. At the end of the day, if you don't have stability, if you don't have growth, you and your colleague who may have started with a 2x salary or a 2x CTC may end up getting the same CTC or not with too much of difference after 5 or 10 years. But the profile and the brand, they always remain with you and would be very, very helpful for you in your entire career. So that's what, again, I would like to stress. Prefer CTC, but I would say prefer brand over CTC in campus placements. All the best.